Alright, we got Jimmy Herro live at the last video, but I forgot to press record. Now, they should have never let this happen. Alright.
You want to see something interesting? Here's a chart of every single teammate Giannis Antetokounmpo has played with.
I remember Chris Copeland used to play for the Knicks back when they were good with Carmelo Anthony and Chauncey Billups and Tyson Chandler.
NBA. That's
y'all don't know nothing about that team. Y'all born in 2010s,
10 years. And they're all plotted based on how good they were in terms of box plus minus.
Tyler Gasol played for the Bucks.
Now, over the years, Giannis has played with a lot of guys. OJ Mayo, Jabari
Jason Tatum.
Parker, played with Jason Terry for 2 seasons.
Jason Tatum played for the Bucks.
But his best teammates have all came in the last few seasons.
Bledsoe,
Brooke Lopez, Eric
Greg
Bledsoe,
Monroe,
Chris Middleton, Drew Holiday. There's some good seasons in here by some good players, and Giannis has made the most of it. And then there's his new teammate, Damian Lillard, who
What's
will
that? What's the
easily
stars for?
be the best player he's ever played with. The NBA's got a new super team, and right now, they're the favorites to win it all.
Bro, what's the stars? What's the stars? I don't get where the stars are.
My first pick gonna be Damian Lillard.
Today's
You already know the
video
deal,
is
Jimmy. Max, how about Max?
Jimmy, and get $20 off your first purchase. As a Blazers fan,
Oh, did I press record? So I'll make sure. Gotta make sure. Yeah, yes, sir. Duh.
Dark days. Days I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. I saw my team rally their way to the conference finals for the first time in 2 decades.
Oh, Jimmy's favorite. Tim Duncan's favorite team was the Celtics.
Just to get swept and never return. I've had to
Without
watch the player
KD.
that we passed up on turn into an all-time great, while the guy we picked couldn't even stay on the court. I watched Brandon Roy blossom into a star and then retire literally 50 games later due to injuries. This is enough to make a and then retire even stay on the court. I watched Brandon Roy blossom into a star and then retire literally 50 games later due to injury.
50 games later?
This is enough to make a man go insane. And then, the chosen one, our loyal king, the one glimmer of
Yo, you got LaMarcus Aldridge. Y'all got LaMarcus Aldridge. Don't act like y'all ain't have no LaMarcus Aldridge.
hope.
He was an all-star
In a
too.
bleak and desolate franchise just packs up and leaves to the Bucks, and we get stuck with DeAndre Ayton, a guy we aren't even gonna keep, a rookie, and a 7th grader. And I'm not even sure where the Bucks came from. The Blazers and the Heat were stuck in one of the weirdest, most drawn-out stalemates for the last 3 months. And out of nowhere, the Bucks came and picked him up for actually a reasonable price. And as sad as I am to see Dame go, I'm happy for the guy. Despite everything he's given to the Blazers, the organization never quite put him in a position to win. The man has been in the league for 11 seasons and has played with only 1 All-Star. And even that
What was that?
nearly a decade ago.
Oh, LaMarcus Aldridge, yeah.
Throughout his career, Dame has made 7 All-NBA teams, a feat only 46 players throughout the history of the NBA have accomplished. And out of these players, only 13 of them never won a championship in the NBA.
Bro, Russ gonna win his soon. And Harden's gonna come to the Clippers. He gonna win his with Russ.
And these 13 players,
Chris Paul. You're just gonna have to go ringless, buddy.
whether active or retired,
Same with you, Steve Nash. You gotta coach at a elementary school first before you start coaching superstars, buddy.
are all regarded in the same dismissive fashion. All-time greats who never won a ring. Only 4 of them are active today. Chris
LeBron,
Paul,
hold up.
James
Who's this? He has a ring? Who is this? He has a ring? Who's this? He has a ring? Who's this? He has a ring? Who's this? He has a ring? Who is this? He has a ring? Who is this? He has a ring? He has a ring? Dude's never heard of before have rings all of a sudden. What do you do? Who's this? Chris Mullin even has a ring. I know Chris Mullin don't have no championship ring.
greats who never
Look
won
like
a
Chris
ring.
Mullin.
Only 4 of them are active
Found out
today.
Chris Mullin has a
Chris
ring.
Paul, James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and Damian Lillard. And all 4 of them have reached the same point in their careers. Don't be the guy who had a stellar career with all the awards and achievements, but no championship to show for it. And so after 3 months of uncertainty, I think this is about the best case scenario not only for Lillard, but for Giannis and the Bucks. In fact, this trade was actually foreshadowed last season. During the 2023 All-Star Draft selection over every other All-Star reserve, Giannis picked Damian Lillard with his first pick. Back in 2022, Dame was asked who he would play with if he could choose any active player. His answer was Giannis. Fast forward 18 months, and they both got their wish. So now that he's on the Bucks, and they both got a teammate that far exceeds anyone else they've ever played with, how good is this duo, actually? We've seen countless pairs of superstars get hyped up with grand expectations just to fall short and achieve essentially nothing together.
How they yelling at
History
each
has
other?
shown us anything, this duo is bound to do something great. In terms of box plus minus, there have only been 6 duos in the history of the NBA that were as good individually as Giannis and Dame are. And out of those 6 duos, 4 of them went on to win the NBA championship that season. The only duos that didn't were Harden and CP3 in 2018, who lost to the eventual champs in the conference finals, and
Shut up.
Durant and Westbrook,
Shut up,
who
Jimmy.
were 1 game away from making the finals.
Shut up,
History
Jimmy.
has shown us that when 2 players of this caliber pair up, it usually results in a championship, or at worst, a game or 2 away from the finals. We're looking at potentially one of the best duos of the last few decades. Last season, Dame averaged 32 points, 7 assists, and 4 rebounds a game. Now, those
Dang,
aren't
both
just
averaged 30?
historically great
Dang.
numbers. That's a stat line that only Michael Jordan, James Harden,
Tatum
and
Brown.
Luka Doncic
Tatum Brown didn't do that? Oh, that's right. Brown don't got a left hand.
have ever achieved in the history of the NBA. Even crazier, Dame did all of this on record high efficiency. And last
Violated
season,
him.
Giannis put up 31 points, 11 rebounds, and 5 assists per game. A stat line that hasn't been achieved since Wilt Chamberlain did it.
Doesn't
nearly
count. No one
60
saw you play,
years
buddy.
ago.
No
We
one
all
saw
know
you
just
play,
how
buddy.
dominant Giannis is, but I think
Who
staying
on this
down-
earth saw Wilt Chamberlain play? Who's on this earth saw Wilt Chamberlain play? Well, I saw him drop 100 points. Sure you did, buddy. Sure you did. Maybe your granddad, but not you, old head.
decade in the shadow of arguably the greatest point guard ever has made Dame one of the most underrated stars in the league. Both of them are coming off of historically great seasons. We haven't seen a pair like this since KD joined Steph and the Warriors back in 2017.
Damn.
In fact, the last time in modern NBA history 2 volume scorers
Lillard?
of this caliber paired up
And
was
Giannis?
never. Over the last 50 years, there hasn't been a single duo that averaged at least 30 points per game and then played together in the following season.
Harden and Westbrook? Tatum and Brown? Where's Harden and Westbrook? Bruh. Oh, I muted it. My fault.
And Wade, not even
I ain't pressed the button. That has a mind of his own.
and Shaq. But it's not just how dominant Giannis and Dame are, it's the fact that their games perfectly complement one another. Individually, defenses are forced
I
to
see what I did.
scheme
I pressed the M button. I pressed the M button. That doesn't make any sense though. Why does the M button mean mute? I have a mute symbol right here. I can mute it when I want.
against
Makes
Dame and
sense.
Giannis in polar opposite ways. But together,
Leave it at the
there's
symbol,
not, a
not
team
the
in
button.
league who has the defensive personnel to cover the deep ball and the pick and roll and
It's a
the
foul.
low post.
Offensive.
Just
Nope.
think,
Ain't no block
every
offense.
single attempt at creating a superstar tandem in recent years
Yeah.
involves 2 players that usually have similar strengths and weaknesses. As good as Kyrie and Durant were, their games didn't complement one another.
How?
Kawhi and PG
Because they're not playmakers?
are great individually, but as a whole, their skill sets are far too similar to create a real dynamic offense.
How?
Most of the time, just taking turns on who's going to get the next possession. Even LeBron and AD are 2 oversized forwards who tend to play away from the basket and dominate possessions 1 turn at a time.
They won a championship though.
Exact opposite reason, this is why I think the duo of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic works so well. 2 completely different but compatible playstyles. Aside from Murray, who isn't quite a superstar, and Jokic, the last time we saw a duo that was made up of 2 megastars with complementary skills and positions was 2 decades ago with Shaq and Kobe. Damian Lillard's demand to be traded
You telling me Giannis and Dame's gonna be Shaq and Kobe, bro?
wasn't some
With
bridge
Brooke Lopez on the court shooting threes because he forgets he's 7 foot free.
of loyalty. It was an attempt to regain control of his career and earn a real chance at winning, like many others before him have done. How many all-time greats put their loyalty first and foremost and paid the price because of it? Guys like Reggie Miller, Dominique Wilkins, Patrick Ewing, generational talents whose careers get lost in the shuffle because they've never climbed to the top of the mountain. they never overcame the final obstacle and won an NBA championship. It's almost like all the all-star selections and big performances
Patrick Ewing doesn't have a ring?
become an afterthought or some sort of relegated achievement because the ultimate goal was never achieved. Is it better to stay with one organization with hopes that things will eventually work out?
That's what
despite
Dirk did.
things never quite working
That's what
out?
Dirk did.
Or after years of holding up your end of the deal, is it better to finally do what's best for you and put yourself in a position to win? Well, the answer lies with the players who did put themselves first. In the mid-2000s, Kevin Garnett's incredible talents were being flushed down the drain in Minnesota, and so he said enough is enough and went to Boston. A move that changed the course of his career.
You think Joel Embiid's gonna do the next thing? He's gonna do this next. Joel Embiid's gonna do this next, you think?
If Kevin Durant never left OKC, we may not know him as a two-time champion and finals MVP, but rather another generational talent who could never quite get it done. Even LeBron James all made the decision to leave the franchise that drafted them for an organization that actually gave them a chance at winning a title.
You think Joel Embiid's gonna do this?
Because loyalty and fans and accolades aside, above all, every player wants to lift that trophy above their head and be crowned a champion. Something that was never gonna happen with Dame in Portland. So what do y'all think? Is this duo truly the favorites to win this year's title? Or are we getting ahead of ourselves like we've done countless times before in the past?
Yes.
Are Dame and Giannis a real match made for winning? Or is this team going to be just another failed attempt at combining talents in hopes that it yields something great?
Yes.
Let me know your thoughts in the comments.
I told you you're gonna lose in the second round to a team like the Nets or like the Celtics. It's gonna be an upset.
And
or maybe even the Hawks.
Always. Until next time.
Just stayed in Portland, buddy.